All right.
Slide that one down.
Oh, yes, you plan it this way, right? It was the, yesterday was the 10-year anniversary of the date we started shooting the Angry Video Game Nerd movie. 10 years ago, that's crazy. So today's the 10-year anniversary of the second day we were shooting. Which is a little better because now it's not like an April Fool's joke or anything. So that's one hell of a day to start shooting film. It was on April 1st.
What shots in the movie were being filmed on the second day? Out of curiosity.
The game store.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
With the boss and Andre coming in and all that. Right.
That's right, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so Billy, considering this is the 1 month anniversary or something of your movie coming out, how does that feel?
Wait, what?
Isn't it?
No, it's not. It's
When-
not even out.
No. When you guys did the West Coast premiere.
Oh, right.
Well, actually, we
the-
did the
the
premiere in Plano, Texas, Dallas-Fort Worth area, and then we did a showing in the LA area late February.
Yeah, so I guess like under 300 people listened to this, which may be a good thing. I don't know. What was your question?
Are you happy about it?
Oh yeah, no, I'm happy that it's this. This has been a long journey, and as James knows, it's a long journey, and just to have it be wrapped up and having people see it, it's nerve-wracking. For me, it's still nerve-wracking every time I go in and see like the audience reaction. I have to have a few beers beforehand, so please be kind, or not. Like, throw tomatoes if you want, but it's awesome.
Just
like,
be honest.
Yeah.
Right?
So I guess, you guys, the movies you have out now, I know, James, you're interested in making more movies one day, shorts and all that. I know we've talked about other things you wanted to make a while ago, Billy. But, but you guys made your movies based on your YouTube shows. So how do you think that worked, and how does that relate to, like, the next thing you want to do?
James, go ahead.
Oh, you want me to go ahead first? All right.
Yeah, so I can think about it.
Let's see. Well, it makes you consider a lot of things because once you start a really big movie, it comes a point of no return. Like now, that's what you're doing for a while. Come up with a new idea in the middle of that. Oh, well, that's gonna have to wait. So you start like getting constipated with all these ideas of things you want to do, and at a certain point, you're like, okay, it's not realistic to make every single idea you ever want to make. You have to sort of narrow it down and pick the one that you really love the most. And even then, just, you got to be totally ready when you start it. So I've been doing web content pretty consistently since that movie, so I've been pretty happy doing all the stuff I've been doing, to be honest. But there is a film I want to make next, which is a horror film. Not the same thing at all. And everything I do will be different, so yeah.
I got a question real quick. Does anyone out there actually know who we are?
Yep.
Okay, like 3 people, awesome. This is 100% scripted comedy. 100% scripted comedy. It's kind of you can look at it as a prequel to us starting the YouTube thing, but I lost my fucking train of thoughts.
Well, that happens to me all the time.
But reality kind of sucks sometimes. So sometimes you have so many ideas, but you don't have the means to do them all, and it sucks sometimes.
Sometimes you have the finances or the means to do what you want to do. That's hard. So you gotta figure it out. Figure it out.
You pick the ones that you think you want to put your energy into at that particular moment, and then hopefully there'll come a time to do other things that maybe they'll come down the line, maybe they won't, but you can't really divide your energy into multiple things. Sometimes you just really got to focus on one thing because you want to be the best you can be. And the YouTube channel suffered a little bit because of that.
Yeah, I'll bring that up in a second. How you do your YouTube grind while doing that. But for
You pretty much just don't. I mean, you can to a certain degree, like get a few things, like kind of, but you can't really go back and forth too much when you're embarking on a film. You're kind of just in that, and it's hard to shift back and forth. So you're kind of trying to maybe I'll get ahead on my web videos a bit. And I have some that are just like done, ready to release, but nah, it doesn't really work that way because you're still like releasing them faster than you're getting them done, and you never get it was probably like a 7-month period where I wasn't making nerd videos or anything.
Yeah.
And nerd videos are like my main source of income. So,
You got to do them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
No,
so-
I completely
Yeah.
understand. It's like with Game Chasers with us. It's like I'm just like you get focused and doing you're editing the movie for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then you realize you're like, oh shit, we haven't put up a video in like a month.
Right.
The YouTube channel is gonna go to shit. Like, what do we do? And so we go out and film, and it's like, but it's hard to like turn your brain and say like, I'm focused in on this. Now I need to focus on this as well. Like, and sometimes it's hard to change that creative knob.
It's tough, and we even made a video going, oh, this ain't gonna affect anything.
Sorry.
We're not gonna stop producing Game Chasers episodes, and that was bullshit. But you can't help it though. Like, you're making a fucking movie. Anybody out there ever made a movie? Okay, couple of people. Okay, that's hard shit.
It's
right?
harder than you think. You think you go out, you're like,
It's hard shit.
it's like, damn, like, you think you go in like knowing the gist, but then you're like, oh shit, I'm over my head here a little bit, and you learn from it. You learn from it. But it's hard. If you actually care about it, anybody can just shit anything out.
Right.
But if you actually care about it,
Right.
and James cared about his movie,
Mm-hmm.
so it's like that's you want to be the best it can be, and so you do what you have to do to get that thing as best as it can be.
So we talked, about doing the movie a long time ago, like 7 years ago or whatever it was, pre-COVID and all that kind of stuff. And we were pitching some ideas back and forth. And I was saying, maybe just do Game Chasers in Japan, or just do an episode that's longer and more theatric.
Which would be dope as shit, by the way. But
Yeah, well, and then same thing for James. Why not just do a longer episode? But you got, when I read your script, I was like, how are you gonna do this? Like I said that flat. I was pessimistic about it, but it's done. Same thing with James. Like, the nerd movie has so many different genres and things and props and actors and all sorts of stuff. So you guys kind of did everything, especially you guys. But I kind of want to rope in your lovely guest up here as well. How was it acting in this compared to the stuff you guys normally work on?
It's a great question for me and Rob. Yeah, it was weird because I've known the guys for a while through conventions. We met at a Too Many Games many moons ago, and I remember Billy, because we got to know each other pretty well, and Billy was like, I think I'm going to write a part for you in this Game Chasers movie. Just a little part, I'm going to put it together. And they didn't hear anything
I don't
about
know
it.
if I said little. I just said a part.
Pretty sure it was minor side. And then I didn't hear anything about it. I was like, oh yeah, when that movie happens, all right, I'll do it. I didn't know I'd be flying.
So
to Texas.
basically, you thought we were bullshitting.
And then, hey Dave, I got that script. I'm gonna send it over to you. It's a draft or whatever. I'm looking at it. I'm like, there's a lot of lines here. Oh, I'm the bad guy. Cool. The main cool.
bad guy.
Wink.
The main bad
Wink.
guy.
Yeah, you'll see. But it was totally different. Because knowing the Game Chasers and how garbage they are, I just assumed, I assumed it was going to be really low end, but enough to get it done. Because
Yeah,
that's what they do, they get it done.
I believe originally I was going to be your sidekick.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I just quit that shit.
Yeah. you did.
As soon as he
So
saw
I couldn't go out for 3
Game
months.
Day,
Yeah,
comes
so-
I
out,
want to say,
so
you
the-
fuck. Hold up, Justin, you fucking asshole. We had a part written for Justin, and last minute he's like, hey, I can't really. And it was, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of mad.
Oh,
I was like, dude, you could have fucking said this months ago so we could try to fucking plan and find a replacement.
I think you
was
found
a
an
little
excellent.
perturbed.
You found an excellent replacement.
Oh,
I don't disagree.
yeah, we did. But here's the thing. You spend 2 years on a script, and you start picturing that person's face while you read those lines.
He didn't even know he was the bad guy. How's that my fault? I gotta talk to my agent.
Do you
He's sitting
remember?
right here. Look at him.
I messaged you and I was like, hey, so we're going to be working on this movie together. And you're like, nah. You remember that?
A little bit.
Did he actually type that out?
I had to, yeah, it's just a picture of his face.
Yeah, it's probably something
Yeah, I
like that.
screenshot it because he deleted it. But compared to, so the original question was, how's that compare? It was totally different. We get on set, I'm expecting to be this sort of ragtag thing, like run and gun, old school indie, and no, they hired this very amazing production company, this crew that helped put things together, and we were so nervous that first day.
Oh yeah.
The first 2 or 3
Yeah.
days, like, this is legit. Things were like separated off, and we can talk about that more. You know where I'm going with
Yes.
that. It was like you got the crew, you got the talent, and everything is like separated out. And it was very weird. Jay was really good about bringing everybody together. Like, we're all in this to make the movie. You know, not to blow smoke
Well, I
up
appreciate
the
it.
rectum. But when we got on, Eric.
You had to specify.
I went hard PG. He can be R. But Eric was so, I think, thrown back by it
Yeah.
that he was kind of an a-hole.
The first 2
He's like, come on, guys, don't
days,
embarrass me in
yeah.
front of these actual film people.
So
It was crazy.
8-bit Eric, in case y'all don't know. If you watch our okay, there's a woo. If you watch our show, you know who Eric is. Yeah, he was kind of a fucking dick. Like the first 2 days, he was just like, guys, quit fucking around. Stop. We gotta get it right. Gotta get the lines right. And I was like, dude, calm the fuck down. Like, it's okay. We can fuck up. That's what things do. People fuck up, right? You fuck up the lines. And if we fuck up, now we got fucking outtakes for the fucking Blu-ray. So, fuck up. It's okay.
There, if you remember, there was no time for bloopers.
okay,
It was
right.
like, we have to get this
Yes.
done in 20 minutes. There's no time.
Guys, I don't understand. When you go on set to film, you got this 12-hour day. And it's like, we have to get these X amount of pages done. James is not right, you know. We got to get these 8 pages, these 10 pages, these 12 pages done. It don't sound like a lot, right? 10 pages of a script. Oh, we'll fucking knock that out by lunch. Done by lunch, right? No, it's a 12-hour fucking day. Because
You have
every
no
time...
idea how fast 12 hours goes
it
when
is.
you're shooting. It's
Yes.
And you have to make compromises. It's like,
Yes, on the
I don't,
fly.
look, we can only get so much coverage. You know, we can't get that dolly shot. We can't get that cool shot. We just don't have time. We don't have time. We don't have time means we don't have money.
No time means no money, exactly. Now, our budget was way fucking lower than yours. A lot fucking lower than yours. So it's like, when you're filming a scene, you got a wide shot, right? Everybody's in it. And then you get coverage, like Billy just said, on every single actor in that scene. So it's like a tight, a zoom in, I guess, shot of their face or whatever, like here kind of thing. So when you do one scene, it's not just film the scene. You got to film the scene depending on how many actors in it, 2, 3, 5, 7 different times. And every time you move that camera, you have to move the lighting. And all that takes time. And time is fucking money. We did not have the luxury of being able to go, well, we'll just add it to the end.
And there's union laws too, like you can't go over 12 hours. and stuff.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, unless you ask, like you ask the crew, it's like, hey, can we get
Grace.
another 15 minutes?
Yeah, I
And
mean,
then
it's like,
overtime, and then
Yeah.
like,
Right,
a lot, and
exactly,
then, not to
yes.
mention those laws are for good reason, because then people fall asleep at the wheel or something. Like you
Yep.
don't want that happening. So it's like, you know, and then if whatever time you stop at, they can't be on set for another 12 hours after that because so there's enough time to go home and get a proper sleep and everything.
Right.
So if you finish at like, let's say you finish at 6 o'clock at night, they can't come back until 6 a.m. But then if you start going later, well now you're kind of fucking the next day.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
This is the thing, if you've not made a movie, people just don't understand that. We didn't understand that. Or you probably didn't understand that.
Oh, no, not all, not to
Right?
that extent. No,
Exactly.
It was
Yeah.
extreme, yeah.
But that's why it's
Very
cool being up here talking about this with people who know exactly what
Right.
You've all been through it, so you know what I'm talking
You
about.
you learn, and that's the thing. It's like I went through film. I did film stuff in college. I went through film school, and but nothing really teaches you until you're actually there. You're doing it. And besides, that was like 20 years ago. I forgot all that shit anyway. But yeah, no, it was such a learning experience. But you just hope that you can take what you learned from the first one, and then if you ever do a second one, you apply it, and then you can be like, oh well, that was something that was an issue, so now we can kind of adjust things and know, hey, this is what we need to do. We need to try to have like X amount of days. Oh, we need to have safety days, because I know on our shoot,
Oh, safety.
it's like if if it rained
We had
one of
none
these
of that.
days. Yeah, like one day,
Yeah.
one day it was like, okay, so we had a scene we had a sequence of scenes that it's about spans of about a minute of the movie, and it takes place from one location to the next, but in real time, it's probably about 20 minutes in real movie universe time. We had to shoot, that's too much to shoot in one day where the weather is consistent, but we have to shoot that over the course of like 2 to 3 or actually maybe 4 days.
Right.
And every day is a different weather. So it's like, how do you match that in editing? It's like cloudy, sunny, rainy, cold, sunny, no clouds, all these clouds. So it's like you have to get in, then I have to get into editing. It's like, what do I do to have this make sense? It doesn't even make sense. It's like it's cloudy, like complete overcast, and then like 2 minutes later, it's complete blue skies. So it's like, oh, what the fuck do we supposed to? So I went out and get a shot of like the cloud, like a partly clouds, the clouds parting, and then I had to go in there and do sky replacements because it's like, it makes no fucking sense if it's like complete overcast and then all of a sudden it's like blue skies.
And that's
so I
one
went
of
in
the
there.
reasons I shot in LA, thinking like, okay, well it's the reason why everybody shoots here because it's like more consistent.
Right.
But of course it rained, and of course we had things rescheduled.
Because of course.
But
That's
some of
when,
that stuff you're talking about too, the color correcting, like
God.
because even there's like even a certain day, there's a shot in our film which was like, I remember it was getting dark, and it's supposed to be day, and it was like getting darker and darker, so I had to like fake it, like color correct the sky out, like you're talking about, to make it look like it's a certain type of day, keep it consistent.
Yeah, because you have to, if it's not consistent when you shoot it, you have to make it consistent in post because it's not going to make any sense.
and this is where 2 years later, after principal filming is done, Billy calls you and goes, hey, what are you doing tomorrow? And I know what that means. I'm like, what do you need? Be here at this address at this time because the weather and the clouds and everything is lining up for what was filmed originally. Okay.
Because I need a pickup shot.
Right.
And James knows, pickup shot is basically like you get into editing and it's like, oh, I got this scene. Oh my God, it would be really good if we had like just a close-up of this. Or I need just because maybe I have to cover a cut or something. Just
There's
anything.
this one shot in our movie where it's in the fridge, where like everybody's talking in the fridge, and it's just 4 people, and all we had time for was that one shot with all 4 people. We never had time to get any kind of close-up, and we couldn't even think how to, because we're in a fridge, first of all. So basically, there was a shot, I needed a cutaway, because I needed to cut out part of that. So what I did was, later, a whole coast away, like on the East Coast.
Whole coast away. I
Yeah,
love that.
yeah.
That's awesome.
I don't even know
Movie
what
magic.
Yeah.
Movie
I got-
magic.
Yeah, I got a shot of me picking up a Rolling Rock beer, and it wasn't even like it was supposed to be Time Winter's, his hand, but instead I just did it my hand, like nobody could really tell.
hand?
Yeah, it's my hand. But I do it, but it's so quick, you know.
Yeah.
So I grabbed the beer, and just having that little shot was enough, so I could cut out what I needed to,
Yeah.
having that cutaway.
Oh yeah, it's a lifesaver in editing. Like sometimes you can't complete a scene and like you're like, I just have to have this. But in a lot of our stuff though, it's like it was shot outdoors, so you have to have like the same lighting. Like you can't get a cutaway in sunlight when the entire scene was shot in overcast. It's completely different lighting. So we'd have to wait till overcast days, and they're like, oh, is this person available? Is this person available? Is this person available? All the same day, and the weather match. It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Good thing everybody lived in Texas and not Delaware.
Near Pennsylvania.
There was a shot in there was a scene that was in LA. When I say LA, I mean like the LA zone. We were out in just a desert at night, and the sky is black, right? So behind me, you just see nothing but black. And I was like, you know what? We could reshoot the rest of that part, or shoot all the stuff we didn't get in front of a black fabric. And we shot that on the East Coast, which was a completely different, instead of burning our asses off, we're freezing our asses off in front of a black
Dude,
background.
talking
That
about
was
weather shit. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, Texas,
Whew.
it'll be fine. I'll pack light, and we had snow.
Yeah.
One of the
Not
days.
quite, almost though.
Yeah.
We got down to like.
Fuck.
So for those of you who know
Yeah.
Chief, of the
Okay, Chief.
of the okay variety.
Okay, Chief.
He became
Well, see, his problem was like at the beginning you have to kind of choose what your clothes are going to be because it has to be consistent.
Stop,
the
let me
entire
cut you off.
thing.
Stop. Hey, hang on. We're talking about continuity, right? I remember Billy's like, so yeah, we're gonna film this in November. I was like, dude, for those of you who don't know, we live in the Dallas area, Texas, right? I'm like, dude, November, the weather is so unpredictable. It's gonna be mostly okay, but we're potentially gonna be fucked on some weather days. Cold, rain, which we were. But the thing is, Eric and Chief and me and Billy, we live in Texas, so we know that. So it was like, hey guys, decide what your wardrobe is gonna be. If you're gonna wear a jacket, you have to wear a jacket the entire motherfucking time. If you're gonna go no jacket the entire motherfucking time. And on this particular day, it was like 30 and rain. And Chief was just freezing balls because he decided, I'm not gonna wear a jacket.
Because he didn't want to be
No
hot the rest of the time.
Right.
Sure.
Now,
Because most of the time we were shooting, it was in the 70s.
right. Now that worked out for him then, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna wear a jacket. And then when we did fucking pickup shots in July in Texas, 103 degrees, I'm dying. I'm fucking dying. But continuity, right?
Yeah.
But in spring, leaves start coming back. I was like, well, we can just get the rest of the shots that we need. Ooh, fuck no.
Nope.
Nope. Nope.
There's a hat I wear in my movie, and when we're on the desert scenes, and it's one of those hats very foldable, like you could put in your pocket or whatever. So when I went into it, I'm like, you know what? If I'm gonna be in the sun the whole time, like, I mean, first of all, it's gonna I'm gonna get burned, and it's gonna be like, that's continuity as it is, which did happen, and makeup covered that up. But like the hat was there to make it more tolerable, so that I could see better. Like I shade my eyes, but because it was foldable in this scene, if I was like, well, now I don't need the hat. I'll show myself just folding it up, put it in my pocket, and then it's gone. We don't got to worry about it. So I had that luxury. Like I put that thought into it before. I'm like, I'm gonna make this more comfortable for myself.
Yeah, that's literally like
Yeah,
some
we
things
did
you
the
see in
same
the
thing.
movie. Like
Yes.
any movie, sometimes some things you see, it's like it's because of convenience.
Yeah.
It's
There's-
funny that you say that though. Like the sunburn thing, that is a continuity because Allie was always consistent.
Our
always
makeup,
such
our makeup
a-
She
girl,
took
Allie,
care of
yes.
us. She took
Yeah.
care
Yeah,
of us.
and there's actually a scene where it was kind of warm, and Billy didn't want to wear the like kind of vest thing he was wearing, and it was like, but you have to. And Robbie, he was like, you were wearing it in the previous scene. You have to be wearing this motherfucker. And again, it's working on the fly. So it's like, okay, we're gonna be running down this way chasing this dude, and while I'm doing that, I'm gonna strip this fucking layer off. For no fucking reason, but you gotta strip it off in that scene, because in the next scene, you're not wearing that jacket.
It came to the point where I didn't give a fuck anymore.
No, I just dropped the jacket. It's fine. I dropped the jacket when I got out of the car. I remember that conversation. It was super awkward.
Yeah.
Billy was like, "I'll just drop it."
I turned diva at that point. I'm like, I'm not wearing this motherfucking vest anymore, man. Nah, not really.
That was the point where you went diva? Okay.
Yeah, that was the point.
Okay, so aside from your guys' grievances of not knowing how to make films properly, I'd like to hear from Rob.
Okay.
During principal photography, I did location scouting, helped Billy, pretty much helped Billy with whatever he needed because I live pretty close to him. And then during principal photography, I did script supervisor and was kind of helping out with rehearsal and stuff like that. And then I'm in the movie a few times, a few different parts.
We do share a scene together.
Yes, that is true.
Look for that.
With
Look
no
for
hair.
that.
Because I had a shaved head at the time, and I decided during principal photography, I said, I'm not going to cut my hair until the movie's out.
I've seen
And
this movie 1,000 times. What scene do y'all share?
Whoops! Did you get cut?
Yeah, I must have.
Oh,
Wait,
I haven't
you
seen the movie.
share a scene?
I thought we did.
Huh.
We shot it.
Wait.
Interesting.
I haven't seen the movie, and then Mondo hasn't seen the movie.
Oh, okay.
yeah. Anyway, and then
I'm stupid, sorry.
Cool.
and then I also helped with sound editing in post production. So I did.
So basically cleaning up the dialogue.
Yeah, I did a lot of I wore a lot of hats, I guess.
Wear a lot of hats. That's. Hey, look, on low budget projects, people wear a lot of hats. That's just the way it is.
So yeah,
So to continue the grievance conversation, what have you learned in that time that you would go back and change if you're going to do your movies again?
So me and the AD, and what was Larissa's technical job?
She was line producer.
Line producer. And these are people who have experience with making movies, and I don't. Catering. They were like, yeah, so here's what catering's gonna cost, and I'm gonna go, now you're spending my money. No, I'm not spending that. And you need to fucking spend what they tell you need to spend, because that's huge. Because catering
was huge, yeah.
Yeah, and I went cheap to save like $8,000, and I wish I'd have spent that fucking $8,000, because every motherfucking break for fucking meal, I drove down the road to whatever fucking like fast food was fucking closest. So that's what I learned. Listen to the motherfuckers who have actually done this, instead of trying to be a cheap fuck. To save money here so you can spend money here. Yeah, catering.
Honestly, though, that money did come in handy with other things. Like
No, it did. That just means you gotta have more money. You know what I mean? Because catering, yeah, look, you don't understand. You're feeding 30, 40, 50 people on set at a time, and your movie probably more. It's expensive as fuck.
It is.
Okay? Imagine everybody in here is crew. Okay? This is the cast. Everybody has to get fucking fed. And a lot of catering companies will break it down to like per meal, per person. So you're talking like $10 per meal per person. So $2, thank you, yes. But if you've got like 50 people on crew, now you're spending $500 plus a meal per day. Now times that by how many days are you shooting? And I fought Larissa and Rudy both. Rudy was the AD. I fought them tooth and fucking nail about how much fucking catering was gonna cost. And I'm like, fucking order Little Caesars. What the fuck? How the fuck is this so fucking much?
Found out is cursed.
It's very cursed,
We're not
right?
supposed to do that.
So the catering company that they hired had zero movie experience, and the food was not that great. And throughout the filming, the 3 weeks that we filmed our movie, more and more people were jumping in my car to go to KFC. Okay?
Yes, it is good.
Because it was better than what the fuck they were fucking providing. So I was just like, I gotta fucking eat crow here. And I even told him, I'm like, my bad, sorry. Yeah, that's what I learned.
James.
I think I learned to keep it simpler. I think it was just so big. It was such a big project, I guess, that I just don't want to have to go through that again. Even though I love the final result, like I wouldn't change anything that we did because we did it and it's done. But I just don't want to have to do it again. So I would do something much simpler. So the next film is a lot simpler to make that I've conceived. Not simple by any means, but simpler than the AVGN movie. I would do a local also. I wouldn't fly to LA again. It was too much. Actually, no, I did not fly to LA. We drove. It was a road trip with my cats too. Well, you guys drive a lot, so you know about that. But yeah. But
I've never made that drive before. That's coast.
Yeah,
That's bad.
yeah. And having the two, we had two cats at the time, and you know, we didn't want to like. It was complicated because it was like, all right, well, you don't want to fly with the cats. Like, how does that work? Plus, if we fly, we don't have a car. Now, what are we gonna do? Rent a car the whole time for like 5 months out in LA? Let's just take our own car. We had to bring the cats with us, and then find like hotels that accept pets along the way and everything, and then you know had to rent a place that would accept like you know a month-to-month lease, that it wasn't like you know a year or whatever. So then I'm paying rent on that, paying my mortgage on my house back on the East Coast, so it's like double, you know, living, and you know. that was all just, it was complicated. I would do it local. That's the biggest thing I would do. I don't want to. I went to LA because I had friends there who made the film with my producer Sean and my co-writer, co-director Kevin. You know, they moved to LA, and also did it because we thought, you know, it won't rain here. You know, the locations. I mean, you just can't beat the locations out there. You know, that actors, like there's just so many actors out there. I mean, you go to New York too, but you know, LA is the big one. But it was so expensive, I wouldn't do it that way again. I'd do it on the East Coast. I'd do it totally independent, totally just, you know, just simpler.
Well, just from my standpoint, try to fight for more days, because the more amount of script pages that you have to do in one sitting, I think the more that you know, you just don't have enough time to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makeup days.
Makeup days, yeah. Because Marvel, you know, when you look at a Marvel movie, Disney movie, they can spend all days just doing like a half a page of the script just to perfect it and make it the most amazing thing ever. When you're an independent, you're doing 5, 6, 7, 8 pages a day. So to be able to just do more days, so you can kind of do less of the script, but make sure it's perfected. Get all the shots that you want to get, all the angles that you want to get, all the coverage that you want to get. Make sure that because you know, oftentimes you don't. Hey, we only have a time for just a few takes. So make sure you know your lines and you're doing it right, because we don't have time to go have you read them 10 times. That would be something I would not change if I had the power to change. Like if we could fight for like just more time to do it.
You know, it's funny. Sometimes you notice that because then, you know, after you make a movie, now you notice it so much more when you watch another movie. Like Jaws, for example. Like you could tell when you watch that movie that Spielberg was under all these time constraints, and like apparently Jaws was like a nightmare to make. And there's shots in that movie that go on for a long time where you could tell they just got the master shot, and they never had time for the close-ups and stuff.
Oh,
Even though it doesn't matter, it works out great. But like you could tell, like they just did that continuous take, and it's just like 3 guys on camera, and it doesn't cut for like a really long time. So I think that happens probably more times, even in like famous movies, you know, more often than you think.
Yeah, isn't it funny though? Like when you make one, and you've gone through that experience, you can watch movies in a different mindset.
Yeah.
You'd be like, I can see things. I know why they did that just now.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that said, aside from things you learned, so if anyone in the audience wanted to make movies or otherwise, what advice would you guys give them? Aside from don't do it.
Just make sure that you're doing it. It's something you're passionate about. Like, you know, don't do it just because this. I don't know. Like, what other reasons would somebody want to go through that hell unless you're passionate about it? But you know, make sure if you're going to do it, make sure it's a story you're passionate about. You're putting your all into it, and I think when somebody speaks from a passionate voice that's true to themselves, I think you can't go wrong with that.
We're talking about a movie, you can get fucked hard, right? I'm just being honest. Now, a convention is a little bit different, right? But I think that advice, personally, it transfers over to anything in life. If you have $10,000, do a $10,000 project. Don't try to do a $100,000 project with $10,000. Now, we're lucky. We have an audience. You know, we can sell the DVDs, the Blu-rays, we can sell the digital downloads, all that kind of stuff. But even with us, what do we have, Billy? 125, 130,000?
Something like that.
Something like that, right? We stayed within that means to be able to make the movie. We didn't have $100,000 and say, we're making a fucking $10 million movie. You can't do that. You still gotta fucking pay your rent. Right? You still gotta buy clothes, you gotta buy shoes, you gotta buy school supplies, all that kind of stuff. So stay within your means. Whether you're making a movie or doing anything in life, it doesn't matter. Stay within your means. And if it's successful, then you go a little bit further.
I would say we'd need multiple cameras, we need a lot of days, and we would just shoot an alien ghost thing.
Okay, alien ghost
And,
thing.
and
got a
let's,
link
Limited
to it.
budget.
okay, let's do that. Okay, go.
Well, yeah, it would be a spin-off for the movie that you're gonna watch.
Which
With
the script is actually
Ghost Getters,
in the
which would be like a Ghostbusters parody-ish, crazy special effect, like something paranormal stuff. Like that's fun. You can just kind of have fun with it. That's, if you're gonna make a movie, have fun making it. There you go.
You know, it's a hard question, and the reason it's a hard question is because the people who do have unlimited budgets are already making movies, and it's already like it's the major blockbuster movies that you see. Those are already kind of being made. So if I had an unlimited budget, I wouldn't do that. I would do something different because I'm tempted to be like, oh, well, I'm just gonna make some big like monster movie or something. But you can already see that. So I don't know. I think I would probably make something similar to what I'd be doing anyway, but just, just with an unlimited budget, I guess. Yeah, I guess. I'd maybe just make it more like where if I had an unlimited budget, it would be like done with like the absolute convenience and comfort, and like it would kind of be the same intent, the same kind of film, but just where nothing would stand in your way from getting it done.
So basically, a lot of your budget would go to like just making the movie, but not necessarily into the movie. Is that what you're saying?
No, I mean it would go into both. It would go into the movie,
Yeah.
but also into like just like making sure like all the actors, I guess, have nice place to stay and everything,
Okay.
and like
That makes sense.
make sure everybody is like like rested up good so everybody can perform and do their best. That's pretty much
That stuff is important though. Like,
Yeah.
like it's it does. Like you want it. You don't think about it. You don't think about stuff like that when you're making a movie. But it's like everybody's got to be on their best game because, especially like actors, there's people kind of sometimes make fun of like, oh, they're pampered or whatever. There is kind of a reason. It's like they have to be their best that day. When they're on the camera.
It's one of those things where like, not even movie wise, if your employees are happy, your customers are happy. So you want to make sure your actors, who are your employees, if you're making a movie with an unlimited budget, you want to make sure they're happy. Your crew, they're happy.
It's something as got to sit around all day, and like they never really know when they're going to be needed. It's like it's kind of like, all right, well now, it's like all right, and now's the time. It's like maybe they were just about to like doze off, fall asleep or something. It's like, oh, okay, it's time to go, and then and then do a shot. It's like, okay, cool. Well, we got to fix some lights or whatever. And then they send them back, and then it's back to the waiting game. So.
Stop you. Go ahead. Unlimited budget.
Yeah, I'll just go Ghost Getters because it's something that's realistic that we've talked about. So that's all I'll say because I don't know what we can say.
Right.
So I'll stop there.
Those of you who don't know, Bill was talking about a spin-off movie, and you said Ghost Getters. You'll understand what Ghost Getters is if you stick around for our movie.
You might not.
You may not understand. If I had unlimited budget, I'm hiring Danny Trejo, Meg Ryan. I'm hiring
1994 Meg Ryan?
1997 Meg Ryan.
Which you actually can do now. I guess.
You've got Mel Meg Ryan. I'm hiring. No, if you got unlimited budget, you can do literally anything you fucking want to do, and you can hire the best of the best. And I want to make a horror movie.
I'd hire Drew Struzan to do the poster.
I hire someone else to do the post-production, period, the editing and all that, because I know what you've gone through.
Well, how about
I know what you've
additional
gone
help?
through.
Because I'm damn sick of doing the
I
job
think you
of
turned
6
your mic
people.
off.
Oh, unlimited budget.
Yeah.
It would be the first movie ever with the budget. It wouldn't say just like a dollar amount. It would just have the infinity sign.
Right, the sideways eight.
Imagine
Now,
being-
if you got an unlimited budget, you can literally make whatever the fuck you want to make. And I do want to make a horror movie. I want to make more fucking movies going forward, and we got 2 scripts in the work right now, actually. And I think the most important thing, if we're talking, I've got the money to do what I want post production. because I've seen what Billy has gone through, and this motherfucker literally edited the entire fucking thing by himself. And James, I don't know if you did.
No, I had a lot of help with the editing. Like basically, we would have an editor do a rough edit, and then I would get it, and then I'd do the final edit.
Right.
So I would just.
So Billy was doing both.
Okay.
Right. And I know what he's gone through. I know the stress. I know, like, unlimited budget. Honestly, post production. I want to get Billy help.
Most of all that, a colorist. Is my mic off?
Your mic is not on.
I did
we go.
do all my coloring. Did you?
It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Well, you know what? I liked it. I found it enjoyable, but it's so time consuming.
It's tedious. What
Yeah.
gets me is like you'll do something. Oh, that looks amazing in that monitor, and then you render it out, put it on the TV. It's like that looks like shit.
They're gonna make out.
Like so that's what's
Yeah,
getting me.
Well, I think if I had unlimited budget, I would make an X-rated movie with all 6 of us, but we're the only people in the movie.
No.
Okay, so Kickstarter, who's in?
Kickstarter, all 6 of us
crowdfund?
fucking.
Alright, so I'm gonna wrap this up, guys. Unlike us in that movie. And yeah, so we'll start the show here. So we're gonna start with the A.B. Jan movie, and then we'll do a short intermission, and then we'll do Adventures in Game Chasing, which they named the movie 2 days before it came out. That was-
Literally 2 days before it fucking premiered.
And yeah, so James, if you'd like to intro the A.B. Jan movie, I'll start rolling on this.
Okay, sure. No, me, my friends Sean and Kevin, we just wanted to make a film that's fun and entertaining. So we just, that's all. We just wanted you to have a good time with this film. We specifically designed this as like a cult B movie, something that you're supposed to get a good laugh out of, and a good crowd movie. And speaking of that, I have not seen this with the crowd since we first, began showing it. It must have been like 2014, I guess, since I've seen it with the crowd. There might have been a screening later, but anyway, it's been a long time. So this is, a really special moment to me to see it again, like after so much time has passed. So I'll kind of be lurking in the back a bit. I'm gonna have to find some food at some point here, but I'm gonna be lurking in the back here.
Pizza and bear.
I'll be in and out a little bit to, but feel free to just, get noisy, get loud, and just, this is meant to be like a party flick, so, yeah.
And please stick around for our movie. please,
Unseen.
Alright, sounds good, guys. So get out of here and I'll start it up.
All right.
You guys mind turning off your mics?